The Shadow of Doubt, a story about overcoming fear. Have you ever felt like an invisible force was holding you back from your dreams? In this episode of The Mind's Blueprint, we journey with a man who discovers that the biggest monster he ever faced was the shadow of his own fear. Leo was a brilliant photographer, but his lens was always pointed at the ground. He was terrified of heights, a paralyzing, stomach-dropping terror that had started subtly in childhood. As he grew older, it began to cast a long shadow over his life, forcing him to turn down amazing job opportunities and avoid anything with a view. His greatest dream, however, was to capture the breathtaking landscapes from mountain peaks and cliff edges. This dream felt impossibly far away, locked behind a wall of his own making. His best friend, Clara, a seasoned mountaineer, noticed his quiet despair. She saw the yearning in his eyes when they looked at photographs of soaring landscapes. "Leo," she said gently one day, "your fear isn't a wall. It's a shadow. And shadows only exist because of a light behind them." Clara knew that his fear wasn't about the height itself, but about the perceived threat and the feeling of helplessness. It was a primal alarm system, misfiring. One afternoon, Clara introduced him to an eccentric old woman named Elara, who lived on the edge of a vast, open valley. Elara wasn't a therapist in the traditional sense, but she had a lifetime of wisdom and a deep understanding of human nature. Her home was perched on a gentle slope, offering a panoramic view that, to Leo, felt both beautiful and terrifying. Elara listened to Leo's story with kind eyes. "Fear is a powerful protector," she began, "but sometimes it guards an empty cave. Your mind, Leo, has built a fortress around something that isn't truly there anymore." She explained that his fear of heights was not a sign of weakness, but a well-meaning, albeit overprotective, part of his brain trying to keep him safe from perceived danger. It was the amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, working overtime. If you've ever felt trapped by an irrational fear, like Leo, hit that subscribe button to join our community and discover more blueprints for your mind. Elara then proposed an unconventional method, a 3-step blueprint for dismantling his fear. Acknowledge and observe. Instead of fighting the fear, Leo was to simply observe it. When the feeling of dread rose, he was to identify it. "My stomach is clenching. My palms are sweaty. This is my body's alarm, not a real threat." He was to name the sensation without judgment. Fractional exposure. Clara would take him to increasingly higher places, but in tiny, almost unnoticeable increments. First, a single step up a stool, then a small hill, then a short, low bridge. Each time he would pause, acknowledge the fear, and then let it pass. The goal wasn't to conquer it all at once, but to slowly, methodically, prove to his amygdala that these small heights were not dangerous. Rewrite the narrative. As he faced each small height, Elara encouraged him to replace his internal panic narrative with a new one. Instead of, "I'm going to fall," it became, "I am safe here. My feet are stable. I am capable." He started focusing on the beauty of the view, not the distance to the ground. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the shadow began to shrink. Leo started taking his camera on these small climbs, focusing on the intricate details of a flower or the texture of a rock. The camera became his anchor, his purpose beyond the fear. He eventually stood on a low mountain peak with Clara, tears streaming down his face, not from terror, but from the sheer joy of seeing the world from a new perspective. The vastness no longer felt like a threat, but an invitation. Leo didn't become fearless. The fear still whispered, but now he knew its blueprint. He understood its origins and, more importantly, he knew how to respond. He realized that true courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to keep walking, one small step at a time, with a new map of his own mind. Fear isn't a wall. It's a shadow that shrinks when you step into the light of understanding. Understanding its blueprint is the first step to building unshakable resilience. Join us next time to uncover more of the mind's blueprint. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights into the human mind.